not everyone's going to be into managing or organizing. So there is going to be a particular percentage of people that are more active. But just giving the accessibility, people like to contribute, even with their thoughts. And once their thoughts get, I guess, some recognition, I think that's great. I think eventually you could even incentivize ideas, incentivize voting and upvoting good ideas, and playing around with the tokenomics of this. Like the first step is just allowing people to organize, but then the next step is like, okay, hey, you can actually encourage more participation by saying, hey, you're sharing a good idea, maybe we can recognize that when down the road that idea becomes a success, give some sort of bonus token. And so we get to reward people, we get to account for and track these activities, and it's transparent and public, so people will be able to recognize that and know that that's authentic. There won't be any question about that history of contribution. And so I think we get to see that. So I think we make it hyper accessible for those that even casually want to just provide some input, get possibly rewarded in the future and might get even more active. But I think it's just that hyper accessibility. We can eventually reward people. But yeah, I think and the biggest thing is just, I think it's not only, I think all DAOs struggle with this. It's one of the biggest problems. It's just, what herding cats is a comment people make about DAOs, and just this dysfunctional, like the politics can happen in any organization, but now you have this public forum where everyone can debate and discuss and understand what's going on. And then at least be efficient about making progress, and not be so, I guess, stunted by not being able to make progress. I mean, if you think about some of the without this kind of ordering, you don't make progress. There's not enough action. And so this is very action oriented. It makes people focus to actually do things. Yeah, I think one of the major components of Alien Worlds is to create this new society based around this game, and have different planets that conduct different policies, maybe have different politics, or however they want to design it, right? So you create a new world reality where there's social, economic, political components to it. But whatever it is, whether it's in the real world or in the virtual world or a metaverse, organization is incredibly important. It's hard to get a large group of people together to even decide what to do next, or because everyone has 1,000 different ideas, and you could go 1,000 different ways. So having tools to enable people to collaborate, discuss things, strategize together, debate pros and cons, and propose actions is important for people to make progress, right? And so from my political days, I was always interested in the process. Like, how do you get together in meetings and decide things? Who get to speak, and there were these processes that I thought were very efficient and effective, and they happen to be called parliamentary procedure. And people are familiar with this Robert's Rules of Order. If you ever been into a board meeting, you go through this process, these customs of, okay, how do you make this meeting efficient? Like, do you have a moderator or the chair that helps facilitate the meeting, or even a facilitator? And then there's these rules that you go through to just make sure that no one's talking over each other. Everyone's gets time to speak, and there's some order to it. There's order to this chaos. And so this process was, I mean, it's hundreds of years of parliamentary procedure and law that has come to what is in Robert's Rules of Order, which is really what politicians use, but it's some foreign language to most people. But you could implement a lot of these ideas to technology to create some order and efficiency in meetings and in organizing. So dBoard is synthesizing and simplifying all of these processes that you would do normally in the real world, and eliminating a lot of things because you don't need to be so linear with things. It's you can start with a message board with dozens of ideas, hundreds of ideas, but starting a discussion around all of those, and then having a process to go from discussion and idea to debate about what to do about those. And it's kind of like parallel processing all these ideas, so you can be a lot more efficient using technology to do normally what it would take maybe many weeks or months to do in a physical meeting. So discussion, starting with a discussion board, a debate process, proposing official action items, making amendments and iterating over it. So it's Robert's Rules of Order was a lot about, hey, making an amendment. Like I move to do X, and I move to do XYZ, which is a variation of the original proposal. So having kind of this iterative amendment process is important. Having rules on make sure people have enough time to debate, to discuss, and even making changes around the rules to extend time if you don't have enough time to discuss something, you want to extend it. If it's an emergency, you want to shorten time. So even the process, being able to extend or shorten time is important. But simplifying that whole process into a platform where you can discuss, debate, iterate, propose, and then finally vote on action is what this tool is about. And I think you can make a lot of these DAOs more successful. Right now, most worker proposal systems are where people just send thousands of proposals at once, and there's no really, it's just a yes or no, and that's pretty much it. It's even hard to filter and consolidate and just understand what's going on. There's no strategy behind it. So this, it makes the process understandable, efficient. And it also creates a system where you can create more like an RFP system where you discuss all these ideas and say, hey, we probably need to do this, rather than everyone just pushing everything all at once. You could even just discuss everything and strategize and say, hey, we're requesting this, an RFP, like request for a proposal on something we think that is very necessary. So there's two ways to do it. It's okay, you could push proposals and just say, hey, this is what everyone wants to do. And then you can also pull proposals and say, hey, like, we think this is important. We can have you or anybody who volunteers or submits their proposals to complete some of the objectives that we've discussed. So I think it's an incredibly important tool, solves one of the crucial problems in organizing. It's not only DAOs, it's a perfect fit for DAOs. DAOs are the way we organize the future. It's the killer app of organizing our future.